Exercise number 6. Exercise number 6 is grabbing the toes. We do it in the beginner's level again first. Beginner's level of this exercise looks like that. This is the exercise for our kidneys. Kidney energy, the kidneys, the bladder, all belongs to the water element. The kidney energy is sort of our basic energy. That's where we all get, it's like the battery in a car. We have two main different kinds of energies that are used in the human body, a lot of more, but those two are the main ones described in traditional Chinese medicine. One is energy that we get through breathing and through food. That would be the fuel that you put in the car. And we have our kidney energy, the Qigong energy, the basic essence energy. That would be, analogy-wise, the battery in your car. This exercise is more or less quite simple. The position of the feet is exactly the same than in the previous ones. We start by rolling down one vertebra after another. The legs are completely straight. Then you lift the toes and you actually grab the toes with your hands. Make sure that your legs are still completely straight. And at the end of this position, you pull your head a little bit to the back so that your face is facing parallel to the ground. This is primarily for the blood not to run too fast and not to get too much blood into the head in order for you to make the coming back up easier. That's one of the reasons. Second reason we're gonna talk about in a minute. Down there, what you're doing is simply breathe. Use your pelvis and use your belly as much as possible for breathing. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. No holding your breath whatsoever. Over time, you'll get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the position. It will be different from time to time. If you can't grab your toes just yet, don't worry, no problem. Just make sure there's a connection between your hands and your body. Meaning, if you're not able to reach your toes yet, then just simply grab your lower legs, grab your calves with your arms and perform the movement in this position. To come back up, first of all, let your head drop down. With straight legs, stand back up, once again, rolling one vertebra after another. Now, next sequence. Open your arms, bring them to the rear. Make sure that your arms, your hands actually, rest on your hip bones. Now that's the highest part of my hip bones, the crista iliaca. And make sure that the palm of your hand is actually placed on top of your hip bone. Not down here in the hip joint, but on the hip bone. On both sides of your body, like so. So, we've been down there, come up, then you grab to the rear. Now, between your shoulder and your hip, now you have this triangle. Use this triangle in order to stabilize your body. We're doing a little back bend here. In order for the discs, the intervertebrales, so the discs, the intervertebral discs between the vertebrae, not to get too much of a translatory motion so that they don't get pushed out to the front. That's why we need our hands to rest on the pelvis. That's the structural reason for it. So from down here, we come back up, put our hands then back there. I start the rolling backwards with my head. So the cervical spine comes first. Once again, one vertebra after another. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Now I reach the upper chest area. I open up. Now I come deeper. And when I come deeper, I actually feel the weight of my upper body being transferred through my arm into the hip bone. That's the part when my hips are actually being pushed to the front. So make sure that part of the weight of your upper body is really transferred into your hip bone rather than your spine being the only structure holding the weight, because this will create a lot of tension, will create a lot of pressure in the lower spine, in the lumbar spinal region, and that's not what we want. We want an opening and we want a relaxation, we want a flow. One more thing when you're back there, very important, that's why I keep coming up to talk to you, you have to open your jaw. Don't go back there with a closed mouth. If you do that, it will create a lot of tension and pressure up here in your joints, in your jaw joints, and in the highest regions of your cervical spine. So between the atlas and the axis, and between the atlas and the occiput. So back there, the highest regions, they will get a lot of pressure from the muscles that tense up. Open your head to the rear. And the muscles just, they get stretched. We don't want that, because a stretch in here and holding your mouth shut means that two parts of you are working against each other. The kidneys, the water element, that's a very soft energy. And that's why we're very soft to our body in this position, apart from the stretch on the rear of the legs. So what you want is come back here and then have your mouth dropped completely open. That's very important to release tension out of your jaw joints and out of the highest joints back here in your cervical spine. This in return will lower the tension in your whole body. I show you the exercise Once again, in flow from the beginning. I have an inhalation to start with, and with exhalation, roll down the head. When you grab the toes, pull up the head. Make sure that the front side of your legs is completely relaxed. You have a nice stretch on the rear of your legs. Make sure to breathe. Breathing is through your nose, in and out. Then, after a couple of breaths, release your neck muscles. Come back up. That's an inhalation. Relax your shoulders, relax your body. Exhalation. Once again, inhalation when you bring the arms back, because you're opening up the front side of the body. And exhalation, coming back. Come back up, inhalation. And exhalation, release. Inhalation. Roll the head down. Grab the toes. Pull your head in the neck. Breathe. Feel the area of your kidneys back here. Expand and contract with your breathing. Use your belly muscles to give your kidneys from the front side a nice little massage towards the back. Release. Come back up. Inhalation. Relax. Exhalation. Inhalation. And exhalation. Inhalation. Exhalation. Relax the shoulders, the neck, the body. Inhalation. And the whole movement would start again. There are a couple of things that work on the kidneys here. For once, it's the massaging aspect as soon as you're down there. The massaging aspect that comes with your breathing. That actually massages your kidneys, massages your adrenals. That's one part. The other part, the coupled organ to the kidneys is the urinary bladder. And the bladder meridian runs all the way down on the back of your body and on the back of your legs. So you'll stretch the bladder meridian on the back of the legs as well. Another aspect, the knee joints, they belong to the kidneys as well. And that's why in this position we try to sort of fix them. There is still a flow. We're going to talk about that a little later in greater detail, because the knee joints in themselves, they have sort of the shape of a kidney. Each end of the femur bone on the right side and on the left is formed like a small kidney. And using that principle, using the principle of similarities, a resonance principle, is something that's very common, not only in traditional Chinese medicine, but in many, many, many different systems around the world, therapy systems, philosophical systems, energetic systems, even scientific systems. Now, another aspect of why we're bending to the front and pulling the head into the neck when we are down there, the shape of the kidney is like the shape of a bean. And that at that part where the bean has like this small inside curve, that's the part where the kidney hilus is attached in the physical body. The kidney hilus is the part where all the blood vessels, the main blood vessels, come into the kidney. And that's also the part where all the urine that gets created by the kidneys gets back out. So that's actually the part where the kidneys sort of are plugged into the body. The head, pulling the head into the rear, to the back, when we are down there, actually symbolizes this hilus. So once again, by using this shape, it's not only a stretching, it's not only the massaging, it's also trying to recreate the form of the organ as much as possible. And that also has an effect on the body and on all the attached aspects that have to do with kidney, with this basic energy. If someone has a lot of kidney energy, is very strong, nothing, and I mean nothing, will ever kick this person out of his calm state, his or her calm state. Like, you can have a bomb explosion next to them and they will still remain focused and calm. Not in a negative way, but in a way that they are so stable and so grounded in their own energy that they can do that. Everyone who has more of this wood element, this energetic aspect of creativity, of getting things done, needs a lot of kidney energy, because that nourishes all basic operations, everything that has to do with movement in the body and with creativity as well. So it's always, the kidneys are, remember that, are the main battery in the body, and you need to take care of them. And it's a very important part to also remember that the kidney energy only gets depleted by a couple of things. Two of the most important are stress and the cold. So try to keep your kidneys warm. Also try to keep your feet warm, because the starting point of the kidney meridian is down here. That's the only acupuncture point on the sole of the foot. And in traditional Chinese medicine is actually considered one of the most important things to keep your feet warm. So running around barefoot during summer is no problem. As soon as the floor gets cold, it's better to put something between your feet and the floor, like socks or shoes or something like that, because otherwise your kidney energy gets depleted, because the cold is one of the pathogenic factors of the kidneys. Using this simple method, this rolling down, coming back up, using this simple method, you'll be able to partially recharge your kidneys, because once again they have two different aspects. The essence, that's quite difficult to recharge, not impossible, it is possible. And you have this basic operations energy, or this basic function, also this basic physical function of the kidneys. You'll support that with this exercise. And there is one more important part. The kidneys and the bladder, they are also linked to the whole genital region. So this exercise also has a great effect on stamina in men, on the ability to get orgasms for women, on the ability to bear a child without any problems, on the fertility. So that exercise is the one exercise that helps with all those problems, if there are problems as well, or that stabilizes those areas and helps them to run even better and to not deplete anything in there. So this, once again, is a very central exercise. If you look at the traditional Chinese medicine, caring about your kidneys might be one of the most important, if not the most important thing that you can do for your health, to boost your health. And it will stretch your hip joints, it will stretch your legs, and this is very important because being agile in your legs, having power and mobility and flexibility in your legs is very, very, very important for your overall health.